We'll be on 5 days live, and we're going to tell you about that during the course of the show. But to begin properly, hello, Bridgetti.
Hello, Stephen. It's again the end of another week, and I can barely believe it. It's like this week felt a little bit like a whirlwind, just like went swoosh and the week was gone. It's like, what has happened to this last week? It's crazy. And hello, everyone, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, it has just flown by, and we're off and running because Lynn is watching us, and Lynn has a question, and the question is, I'm testing someone. So Lynn is live testing today, and their name appears when they ought to be where they ought to be, but she doesn't appear on camera. She do right. So the guest name appears, but they don't appear. I thought guests just clicked on the link and they appear. Right. Okay. We've got some further questions, haven't we?
It can very well be. Can you just double check? I find this happens with me all the time. Can you check that your guest is actually using Google Chrome? Because very often they tell, and very one of sometimes their browser is set on automatic to whatever they're using. So they click on the link and it'll automatically open in that browser and not necessarily Chrome. So just check that.
That's the first thing to check. If they're on mobile, you've got to make sure that the guest has got to make sure that they can be seen when they do the settings. If they can't see themselves on camera, then you're not going to see them. If they're on desktop, true. If they're on desktop, then there's a little cog, top right-hand corner, which you press before you press connect camera. And that little cog allows you to select the camera and the microphone. If you don't see yourself on screen, then nobody's going to see you. And on Chrome, yes. It only works on Chrome. The technology we're using, which goes back a number of years, was originally developed by Google, who also developed Chrome. So BeLive TV works best on Google Chrome, because we've had that experience, as you said, Bridgetti. You've got to be on the Chrome browser.
Very, very much so. Very much so. So, I mean, BeLive tells us so that it won't work with anything else, and I've tried it because numerous people have said to me, "But won't it work on this, that, and the other browser?" It will not work.
It looks like it's working, but it's not working. It doesn't come up with any errors. That is what I'm saying, but it won't work unless you're actually on Chrome. Okay.
Actually, it does, because I tried it the other day for someone who was also insisting, and it comes up with a message saying, please open this link on the Chrome browser. It does give you there is an error message. Hi, Gospel, nice to see you.
Indeed. Hello, Gospel. And just to say, Gospel is on the I Live Here show on October 9th, and we're all looking forward to that. And we're all looking forward to next week as well, aren't we? I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, it's like, where has the time gone? The weeks passed by so quickly, and we're already having another round of 5 days live. Wow.
Well, magically, it's 8 weeks ago since we did the last one. And we're going live on the Live Video Hub. And we have got a team this time. And first of all, the event itself, I find, starts next Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's free online training for live video shows, and it starts on October 1st on the BeLive TV Live Video Hub. And you are all more than welcome to actually join us. And you can be a guest on the show if you wish, or you can ask questions. And we have a new way of asking questions, which I shall explain later, because we've got a new bot. Okay, now Before that, though, there is something taking place at the moment, which is the BeLive Birthday Awards. Would you like to explain that, Bridgetti? And then I'll post a link.
Yes, we do have a celebration coming up. BeLive turns 2 years old, and that is, again, it feels like yesterday when we were celebrating the BeLive TV's first birthday. And so that's coming up again. There is a form out which Stephen will share with us, no doubt, in a moment. And we can nominate our favorite people that use BeLive.tv. It's one way of connecting with people from all around the world. It's an introduction to new people. I have found new people. Stephen's found new people. We've all found new people. It's an amazing way to connect with some more BeLivers, and it's phenomenal to see what people have been doing. People that go live solo, people that have got amazing groups in which they're using BeLive, and just learning the things that people are using BeLive TV for is amazing. I mean, it's like people have just come out of the woodworks using BeLive.tv, because the one thing we sometimes forget, we have got close on, I think, 7,800 people in the BeLivers group, but that's only a fraction of BeLive TV users. So we may only, and again, even in the BeLivers group, not everyone in there are active users. Everyone in there have got shows yet. There's still a lot of people trying to find their feet within the group, who's not yet found the courage to go live, but they're watching people. So we only see a fraction of the shows, and this birthday round now gives us a broader view of who is out there that's using BeLive.tv. And again, if you one of those people that are still in the woodwork and you're working on your confidence or whatever that is, come and watch us next week on 5 Days Live, because we're going to be sharing some awesome tips for you on how to get started, and if you've already gotten started, how you can improve your presence online and grow your shows live.
Indeed. And just to stay with the Birthday Bash Awards for a second, I looked at the list, and I've got to say I didn't recognize 80% of them, because there are so many, as you said, there's so many people broadcasting and doing excellent work and excellent shows which are being noticed by other people. We know people in our own circle, and we say congratulations to Fons Chamberlain and to Ladies Go Live, who've both been nominated, and to Karen Glasser.
Absolutely.
But there are a lot of names in there. I'm going to have to go and check them out and watch their shows. Because
that's what I said, before you vote, I want to actually go and watch more of the shows so that I get to know these people better.
Indeed. And Gospel is saying, I too have met new people, including you and I, Bridgetti. So it's good. The power of live video. Right. Okay. So what we want to do is just give you a run through of what's happening next week. So that's the free online training. Starts Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and runs all week. And it starts off with the first show, and hopefully this will line up correctly. How can I do this? Can I do it like that? That's it. Okay, I'll take that off screen. That's better. We start off with Building Your Brand, which is Bridgetti and I, with our friend David Burrows, and of course Linda West. So that's the four of us kicking everything off, getting things going to a flying start on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll put a link in later in the broadcast, and you're more than welcome to join us on that first show, because branding is important, isn't it, Bridgetti?
Absolutely, because that's one of the key features of BeLive, is that you can brand yourself online. There's so many ways in which you can brand yourself online with BeLive. Your imagination basically is the only limitation when it comes to branding yourself using the BeLive TV platform.
True. And as a starter, we're branded by the logo for next week, which is 5 Days Live. Right, okay, a question from Gospel, which I'll take in a moment. And you can do the frames. You can actually advertise if you're going out on your business page. You can do anything you like, can't you? Really?
Yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can.
Right, just going back to the awards for a moment, birthday awards. Gospel is asking, what is the criteria to be shortlisted for such awards? I wonder. Ooh. We wonder too.
You have to be using BeLive. You have to be using BeLive TV as a start.
Yeah, you have to be using BeLive. That's fair. I think you've got to have been noticed by BeLive in some way or other. They actually drew up the shortlist, so it's magical. We don't know. It's a mystery to us as well.
But you can nominate other people. There's a section for other. So
Yeah.
in a number of the categories, you still have the option to add someone.
Right.
And there doesn't seem to be any criteria for that. It just gives you the option to add another person in the category.
Just a reminder, if you're not watching on the live video hub page, you'll find a link up above. If you click that link and come in, any comments that you've made, we will see. So please click the link, come straight, do not pass go, come straight here, and you can type your comments in, and we'll be part of the show then. This is part of live cross posting. It works well, but you need to be on the original page. And the whole idea of the live video hub is not to gain views on the hub, it's for you to find shows on the hub and then go to the page where they originate from. So that's that. So Monday is building your brand, and then on Tuesday it's running your show. And I'm just trying to find it and remember who exactly it is. It's me. I know I'm there, and I know that Cheryl's there, and I think RJ is there too. So running your show, what you should do when you actually got the show on the road, and the steps you need to take to make sure that it runs smoothly, whether you're doing a solo show, interviewing somebody, doing a chat show, you need to sort of get a sort of agenda together, and we're going to be talking about all the ways that you can improve the running of your show. Oh, sorry, no. I hope she's not watching, because it's Cheryl, myself, and Lottie. Oh dear. Right. Something came back to me then. On Wednesday is after your show, and there are a lot of things that you can do afterwards, because we know that most views come after the show. So Annie Mora, RJ, and myself will be talking about after your show and what you should be doing. And again, that's on Wednesday. And on Thursday is New Horizons. Now, what are you thinking about for New Horizons, Bridgetti?
I don't know. I don't want to give away too much right now.
Good answer.
Good answer. We want people to come and watch. You know, one is always tempted to start sharing, and the problem with when you start sharing is you can't keep quiet.
You don't want to give the game away. Yeah. I mean,
no.
You want to tease, but not tell the whole story. And it's a bit like a serial where you actually want people to come and watch the next episode. So yeah, okay. And then the Friday show to round the week off is about show promotion, and this is the important part. This is the bit that actually gets people watching your shows. It gets views on the live video, and it gets minutes watched, and it's very important. And we're going to be putting together a list of things that you need to do in order to get a wider audience.
But I think that's usually the number one concern for people, is how to promote and get more eyeballs on their shows. And so I think, you know, we want to show people what you can do before and what you can do after to promote.
Indeed. If you want to join Bridgetti and I on camera, and just type guest, and you can join us live, that would be good. We've got 2 spare seats at the moment. And we have a new bot, which I sort of alluded to earlier. One of the things that we know is that not everybody wants to ask questions publicly, and not everybody wants the questions answered immediately. They want a considered response after the show. So we have a new bot, and it's called the Ask bot. And basically, if you type ask into the comments now, then you'll be taken away to Messenger, and you can type your question in there and we'll answer it after the show. So all you need to do is type the word ask, and the rest is taken care of by our Messenger bot who's watching the show today. And as a special favor, because Ask bot is new, if you could just type ask into the comments, that would be most helpful, because I want to test it out before we actually take it live, totally live, next Monday through Friday. So if you could type ask in the comments, that would be extremely useful, but you must be on the Live Video Hub page. Okay. Because it just came to me the other day that people want to ask questions, but they want to get a more considered reply than we give a verbal reply now. So I'm beta testing that to see what happens. Because if people can leave you questions, then you've got time to answer them then.
I know, because don't sometimes, especially if you've got a lot of comments, you don't always get around to answering people directly on the show, or sometimes people have a longer question to ask, or people don't want to ask, as you said in the live comments. But this gives people an opportunity to ask offline, which is great.
And thank you, Gospel. You don't have to have a question, but if you can just test it out, or you can put any question you like, really. In fact, you can do 3 questions, but just one will do, just to test it. And we'll say hello to Jay. Nice to see you, Jay. And always enjoy watching your shows and catching you. And thank you for being on the Live Video Hub and sharing your shows. Just thank you, really. Now, where do we go?
How many have we got on the Live Video Hub now? Because it's increasing almost on a daily basis. It's
going very well. We've got 180 shows on the Live Video Hub now, and we're averaging during the week, things you find out running the Live Video Hub, we're averaging 15 shows a day. Most people broadcast Monday through Thursday. Friday's a bit quieter. Hardly anybody broadcasts the weekend and shares on the hub. So I'm guessing from that the pattern is to actually broadcast during the week. And basically, occasionally people go live at the same time, because there are popular times for going live, but that's not a problem. But things are going.
It gives people choice.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, there is a page, a single page. I just publicize it now whilst I'm in the right place. Just let me try and find it. I'll post a link. What we wanted to do was to get all the shows that are on the hub onto one page, and there is now a single page with the hub shows on. I'm just typing away and misspelling things. Have you noticed? I noticed in my Gmail today, it actually auto suggests what you should type, which I find interesting once I discovered how it actually worked. So on the link,
something changed there?
Well, I don't know. It might have been that way for a long while. It's just I replied to an email today. Most of my, I don't know about you, but most of the messages I have are actually on Messenger. Yeah?
I do find the same. I have one problem with Messenger though, is that things, when they drop down your screen, there's no way of seeing them. And that's a problem, especially if you get a lot of messages on Messenger.
Yeah.
I just find the indexing of that, incoming messages is not great, and finding stuff, and that for me is my biggest challenge with using Messenger as a correspondence platform. Is that when it's scrolled down, you don't get to see it. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's not in front of your eyes.
True. I mean, the thing about most software has not niggles. Yeah, it works, but it would be better if. And
I find it's great for when you're going live with someone and you need to communicate with them just before, it works fabulously. I really appreciate having that as a quick means of correspondence, not having to go and look for email. So if you've got people on a show, you can quickly create a little group, and you can get everything there in one place, and everyone's on the same page at the same time. So I really like that about Messenger.
Oh yeah, I mean, but as I say, I tend to use Messenger on a regular basis, and email less so. Simply because Messenger is instant. You can type a message and get a reply straight away. Where email, you've got to wait for the email to come back, and it seems to draw things out of it.
It is. That is the one thing about Messenger. The instant communication. Yes, for sure.
Right. Do you have shows coming up over the weekend? Are you broadcasting this weekend?
Yes, I've got one later this evening, Lights, Camera, Action Live, which is in the BeLivers group. So if you're not yet in the BeLivers group, then do come over and join us. So tonight's topic is how to get over nervousness. And that's a huge thing for a lot of people, finding ways to calm down your nerves before you go live. And especially in the beginning of your journey as a live streamer, it's a lot more bothersome. Most people still have a twinge of nerves, even when they become experienced live streamers. But in the beginning, it is something that can hold you back tremendously from being yourself and sharing your message. And sometimes you can just get pure stage fright. So if you can find ways to just get over that stage fright, it's a step in the right direction. So they're focusing on this evening in the BeLivers group.
So that's the BeLivers group, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern?
Correct, yes.
I'm learning, you see, because you told me the times last week. I actually remembered them, which is quite an achievement, really. Yeah, and also going on at the moment, as we've said, I'm going to mention this several times, is that the voting is taking place for the BeLive Birthday Awards. And if you want to vote, then please go to this page and you can vote for your favourites. And I dare say that there may well be a show on or about that day with the winners on there. Because I think that it actually closes the ability to vote. It actually closes pretty soon. It's end of next week, October 5th, I think. So now is the time to get.
Yeah, so just one week left. So go in there and vote. And if you still at this last minute want to add anybody onto the list, get that in there so that the voting can commence.
Totally.
So a quick question here. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
We won't vote for ourselves, but anyone else out there watching, can they nominate themselves?
You can. I think you can nominate yourself. You can vote for yourself. It's very loose.
I just wasn't. I wasn't too sure about that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I think you can nominate your own show, and you can vote for your own show. So you get at least one vote. But don't know. All these voting systems are different, shall we say? And this is the first time the voting system has been run, and there are a wide range of shows on there. Congratulations to our friends who are actually on the list. Don't think we've missed anybody. No, I think we've managed to cover everybody who's there. But it is It is open at the moment as to exactly how it works. There are a few rules have been published. We do know you can vote for yourself there. All right. Now, one of the things that can happen in a show is that you can have, same as they do on television, silence, and normally that is a problem. But we're just using this moment to meditate about. No, I mean the thing is, if you're running a show like a chat show, what you have to be able to do is to talk about anything really. And if you've got any topics like, yeah.
I'm actually scrolling through the list now as we see, you know, and there's so many people on there that I've never ever heard about, and I'd really love to watch these people's shows, because I think, you know, if BeLive had chosen those people, there must be a very good reason why they did, and it must be based on their popularity, I would imagine. And so I really would want to get to know who these people are.
It would be good if after the awards they can publish a list of the show names and the links to their pages, because then that make it easier to go and watch the shows. At the moment, you've got to sort of copy the name of the show, go to Facebook, paste that in, and then try and find them. So I'm looking forward to, after the voting is over and the results are known, that we can actually all go off and watch their shows. That should be the win, actually. They published a link. If you are a winner, they published a link to your show and people can go and watch. Yeah, that would be.
I think that'd be great, and I guess it's one way of even doubling up on their viewers. Because now more people, a wider, I mean, everyone certainly in BeLive's group now gets to know who these people are.
Yeah.
And so it definitely will double up on their viewership.
I hope so.
So Gospel's asked a question there. You got it. Isn't it better for someone? I'm guessing that you mean, isn't it better for someone else to vote for your show or to nominate you? That's what I think you mean. Am I reading that wrong?
Well, in normal events, you'd have, if you're organising a vote, you'd have 2 rounds. Like the PTZ Awards earlier this year. The first round was you nominate somebody, yeah, and they accept nominations up until a certain date, and we'd all be nominating people for a certain category. And then the nominations would close, and then the real voting would open based on the nominations. Yeah, that's the normal routine. What has happened here is that the shows have been pre-selected. Now, it could be that they've spoken to, not to you and me, but they've spoken to admins and moderators and show hosts of the weekly shows and got the list that way. I think we're going to ask Irene. I think probably she will know. If we ask Irene how the list was actually put together, because we've not heard of these people. Not in a bad way, but it's bringing up new shows that we can.
No, I know what I know exactly what you mean. You know, you do want to kind of know or understand where these people came from, since a lot of us have not heard of them. But obviously, they clearly are popular for some reason. There must be a good reason why BeLive chose to nominate them.
Totally. Yes. But I mean, we're looking forward to the birthday. Who knows what other surprises will happen around October 15th. It's crazy to think that all this started October 15th 2 years ago. I mean, it's come a long way. All right, isn't it better for someone to vote your show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I voted. I had to check a few shows out, but I voted. I didn't vote in every category. I voted in the categories that I knew about and knew something of. So my vote has gone in. And the thing is that if you vote now and you change your mind, you can change your mind until the 5th of October. You can edit your vote until the 5th of October, which is quite useful if you actually see somebody else. The unfortunate thing was that there's a category, which I can't see now because I voted. There's a category there which was...
which one? I've actually got the page open.
Okay, the Ladies Go Live category, near the bottom.
Let's have a look. That's the best community show.
Right.
So the options there is the Wigan Fan TV. That's WIGAN Fan TV.
Wigan Fans
second
TV?
One is
sorry.
Yes.
Wigan Fans.
Do you know who they are?
Wigan Fans TV can be found on the Live Video Hub, broadcasting every week about rugby, which is one of the UK's favourite sports, and they are a great show. And shout out to Sean, who actually runs the show. Now, I couldn't vote for them because the next one is
Ladies Go Live.
See, that put me in a quandary because I know I know Ladies Go Live. I know everybody's in your team. I know Lottie. I know Tina. I know yourself. What could I not do? I had to vote.
There's a whole bunch of ladies that we all know in Ladies Go Live.
And a shout out for Ladies
Go
Live. Yep.
And the next one is Hmong. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hmong Women Today, which is HMONG. And I'm going to take a wild guess that this is a Chinese group.
Okay. Well, it shows how far BeLive has reached.
Yes. Yes. I would imagine that's a Chinese group of ladies. And so I would imagine they must be very successful too, to be on the list.
But that's it. I wanted to cast 2 of my votes there. I'd have given up voting in another category just to be able to cast 2 votes in that category. Right now, when you go to the Oscars, the last 3 awards are the Best Female Actress and the Best Male Actor. And in the BeLive Awards, we have the Best Female Show Host. And the nominees are?
The nominees for the Best Female Host, let me quickly get that. It's our very own Karen Glasser. How could we not vote for Karen? And then we also have Mommy Talk Live, and we have Create Abilities, and those are our Best Female Host nominees. And of course, you can still add another person if you would like to do so. I mean, I certainly have a few other people up my sleeve, but I certainly will vote for Karen, without a doubt.
Well, yes. And the Best Male Host. I can type one in here.
The Best Male Host is Life of Dad, Reality Changes, and then, of course, shall we not forget, Cambridge Historian. Brand new show, but an amazing show. And then we have Rob L. Sperry as the other nomination for Best Male Host. I don't know Rob Sperry. Do you know him?
No. I'm just saying how I voted, Lynn. I voted for Karen and I voted for Fonz. Yes. That'll stay in the recording now. If you know the people in the same category, then please do vote. I mean, Fonz has now got 3 shows. He's got on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. in the UK. He has the Cambridge Historian show. Now, the backstory to this is that Fonz has been the Cambridge Historian since forever, and his show was on the local radio. But on the local radio, he had the problem that he couldn't actually show people things. He could talk about a photograph, but he couldn't show people the photograph. And so he came to BeLive back in May, and now not only can he talk about things, but he can actually show things as well. So he's thrilled to bits with that and enjoying himself. And then on Tuesday, of course, is I Live Here, which he and I do together, where we visit different places in the world. And we're going to be on the 9th of October with Gospel, and looking forward to that as well. But before that, we're actually in the USA on Tuesday with Cheryl Greening. So looking forward to that as well. Oh,
Stephen, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
I'm looking at the production studio from my perspective, and it seems as if my signal is bad. But when I look on Facebook, I'm not seeing that it is. Can you see anything from your side?
Looks good from here. No, you're good. Yeah, there were problems right at the beginning, but there's no problems now. Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes I'm not hearing it, but I see there's quite a delay on Facebook because I've now got it open and I'm watching it. I wanted to see what the quality was like, and I can't see any problems when I'm watching the show on Facebook. So I wanted to ask you whether you picked anything up.
Nope, we've been okay for the last half hour plus, no problems at all. So I won't put those on the screen because Lynn thinks I was naughty to say who to vote for. and Johnny's being helpful. He's saying,
"Hi, John.
You're looking a lot clearer than I do. I'm closing things down in the background, but I'm trying my best, John. Right, okay. So 5 days live is next week. We're looking forward to that. It starts at Monday, 3 p.m. in the UK, 10 a.m. Eastern. And well, that's put me off a little bit. If I'm not looking clear, then I'm limited in what I can do. Yeah, okay. I'd rather find out after the show than during the show. Yes. Okay. Now, I heard of a new program this week because I'm going to do a trailer here for IO. One of the reasons
a new show on BeLive in 5, or I mean on the hub, or someone in BeLivers.
Right. But it's the Thursday show, New Horizons. I'll give a little bit away because I know a lot of things that are going in there. But one of the things that's going in there is multicasting, and it's broadcasting to several sites at once, not including Facebook. So you can go live to YouTube and Twitch and Periscope all at the same time using a program called Caster.io, of which there is a free version, and it means you can go live from your desktop and you can broadcast wherever you like, really. And I think
have you tried it, Stephen?
Yes, we're trying. David Burrows and I are trying to get an interview with the CEO, and all I can say is it works very well. I don't know whether John's trying to rub that in or what. Right. Okay.
So if I hear you correctly, you're saying that the caveat is that you can't go live to Facebook, but you can go live to other platforms simultaneously.
You can go live to Facebook, but not in the way that we do. I mean, we can actually see the comments here, and I can put John's comment up on screen. But if you go through Caster.io or even Restream.io, you're not using the Facebook interface, you're using RTMP. So what happens is you can't see the comments. So you can come to Facebook. Okay. But for two reasons. One, you won't see the comments. And two, Facebook don't like you doing it. Yeah. It's really aimed at going at the other sites. But it's something that is going to, well, it's going to become mainstream. Well, our mainstream is the ability to actually broadcast to places other than Facebook. All right. Okay. Yes.
I think, you know, for me, it's I'm not that mad about multicasting to too many different platforms at the same time, because I think it is a little bit challenging trying to monitor comments on various platforms simultaneously. What I think personally would work great for me is the ability to have a show recorded automatically, because when it's recorded automatically, it's easier to repurpose. Um, but I prefer personally to broadcast directly only to one stream so that I can focus on the audience and focus on the topic, so that my attention's not divided between trying to manage audiences on different platforms. And I think Stephen has gone down for just a moment. Possibly his internet's gone down, but I'm sure he'll be back shortly. You back? You back?
I'm back. I'm back. Yes. Yeah. I just set it up so I can actually watch what I actually look like on the screen, because it was annoying me. And I'm waving.
It's
I can
funny
see
when you become aware of something like that.
I know. You want to go and have a look, and I've just had a look, and all I can say, John, is refresh.
It makes a big difference.
Right, and John saying, I think when I went in and corrected the spelling of Stephen, Facebook added the last bit. Okay, and good points, Bridgetti, one audience. The thing that is happening though is that the people who do the restreaming are doing something important. They're actually putting together chat programs, and their goal, ultimate goal, is to bring the comments from everywhere into one place, which then means that you can actually monitor comments from everywhere and reply to comments everywhere. But that's not perfect yet, shall we say? But once it is perfect,
Because
then
at the moment,
yep.
I mean, I've watched people who currently multicast and they're streaming to different platforms, and so they're constantly having to go, okay, well, I haven't forgotten about you, you know, I'll get back to you now. So the attention's constantly between, you know, okay, I'm now paying attention to Facebook, I'm now paying attention to Periscope, I'm now paying attention to YouTube. So it takes an experienced live streamer to be able to do that. Because if you brand new and you're still trying to just find your feet, don't even attempt it, because you're going to find that you're going to struggle and it's going to frustrate you even more. So that's my advice. Don't attempt multicasting if you new. You may get a wider audience because you're multicasting, but you're going to struggle trying to communicate to your audience unless you're doing something where you're delivering a topic and you say to people, I'm not going to be attending to your comments now. Or that's one way of dealing with it. Saying to people, I'll deal with the comments after the broadcast. But, you know, it's very much, to me, that's very dependent on your topic, or what you're trying to achieve with your live streaming. So if it's something where you want audience engagement, multicasting is not going to be for you, not at this point yet, until they've developed it to where what Stephen mentioned, where it's going to be more of an integration of comments, in which case that sounds fabulous.
Sound advice: walk, don't run. But as soon as you can at least jog, then take a look at multicasting. Now I want to come to a point that welcome Dale. And Dale is saying everyone is having trouble going live today. Dale, if you want to join us on camera, please do. If you type guest in the comments, you can join us. And as an alternate to that, if you, I'm going to post a link now. If you want to join us for the last few minutes of the show, last 10 minutes, then you can click that link and come directly onto the show. If you are watching now, then we have a new messenger bot working today, and it's one that I put together. It's called the Ask Bot, and the basic idea behind it is that you've got questions, but you don't want them to be shown live on air. You want to ask them privately of the people presenting the show. So what you can do, if you would like to, at this very moment in time, is to type ask in the comments, and then you'll get a chance to post your question on Messenger, and we'll see it after the show and respond to it, and probably give you a written response rather than a verbal response. Because what we can't do at the moment is we can't be working in the chat as we're actually talking. Whereas if you can ask your question via Messenger, then we can get to that question. It will stay there, it won't go anywhere, and you're asking it one-to-one. So you're not telling the world, you're actually just talking to the people who are hosting the show. So if you want to test it out, I'd be most grateful if you do, because I want to take this live next week. If you could just type, and you are watching the show, just type ask in the comments to ask a question. You don't have to have a question, you can just pretend.
Yes, just let us know if the bot is working. I do want to ask you something. Anyone else that's watching now, if you do have this issue, please let us know so we can follow it up. Stephen, I don't know if you've had this happen to you either, but I have on occasion a few times now gone and created a show, and when I click on start broadcast, nothing happens.
Right.
And I have to refresh and then start all over again. So if anyone else has experienced that, I don't know if it was just me or something. So if you've experienced that, let us know so we can get it followed up with BeLive.
Yeah. Indeed, if you let us know, then we can help you. And Lynn saying she had problems earlier, and the problem earlier, which we can discuss at the moment because it's in the BeLivers group, so we can discuss it now, is that Lynn was doing a test solo, I think, and went live on BeLive.tv, 54321 went live, and nobody could see her. But when she'd finished the show was actually physically there in the group and people could watch the replay. So my best guess at the moment is today that Facebook are actually up to something which is affecting a lot of things that are actually going on.
Just to backtrack here, Lynn went live
into a
group and she couldn't see the viewers, or the viewers couldn't see her.
Viewers couldn't see her.
But she was actually there once she had completed the show. She just wasn't aware of the issue while she was broadcasting, or was aware of it.
Well, Lynn, can you tell us, when you did the test earlier today and you went live into the group, how do you know that nobody could see you before but they could see you afterwards? Because that will help us to not necessarily give you the full answer, but to sort of be able to comment. Okay.
So what I'm gathering from this is that she went live and the show wasn't displaying in the group while she was live. That's what I'm gathering. But after she finished her live, it showed up in the group. I think my understanding is correct.
Yeah. That's very strange. And Dale, if you're still here, what was your problem today with broadcasting?
It's good to know, because then you want to know whether it's a general problem or whether it's an isolated incident.
That's true.
And if the problems are similar or different, it does help for the sake of troubleshooting.
Yeah, if there's a pattern and you can discern a pattern in where things are going wrong. So far we've had the start button not working, and also the show not being visible in a group. Yeah. So we can take both those. Did you mention it to well, I asked Lynn the question, I think. I kept thinking it was something I kept doing wrong. When you broadcast into a group, the first thing you have to do is install the BeLive.tv app in the group itself. Otherwise, you can't broadcast.
Well, it won't let you. Yeah, it won't let you proceed anyway. You wouldn't get to the point where Lynn was.
Okay, so Lynn did that then.
When you create, she must have done that, because when you create a show on BeLive, it will give you the drop-down list of where you can broadcast to. And in fact, what it does is when you choose a group, that you can have a green tick to indicate that all is well and that the app has been what is the word, approved. But if you do that, it'll be a red indicator to show that you can't broadcast to that group. So that tells me Lynn must have already had that in place. So that was not the issue.
Okay, right. Good. Now, next question then. I don't mind getting the questions wrong, as long as we get to the final answer that everybody's looking for. Yes, next question then is, did you have the Facebook group open in a separate window whilst you were live, and were you watching that to see whether you were live? Because
I'd be keen to know that. I mean, how, other than possibly nobody commenting as a means of knowing that you weren't live. It was your first time live. Okay. Is it possible that nobody knew you were live at the time and therefore they didn't comment? Or did you advertise it, and did you have it open in a separate tab so that you were watching to see if you were actually live? I think that was your question, right, Steven?
Yeah, and the answer to that is yes. Two separate windows open, group and BeLive. Right, okay, now I'm going to get this wrong again, but I'm going to go for it. If you go live on BeLive.tv, you can see yourself on the screen, then you go to Facebook. But if you open Facebook first, if you open Facebook, the group first, the group tab is open. Did you refresh that tab after you went live? All right, okay.
Okay. So Lynn, that's the one thing you always have to use your, and were you live? Here's another question. Were you live by yourself, or did you have a guest?
Right, okay. Did you, sorry, Lynn, is that oh, is that no in relation to the fact you didn't refresh the Facebook window? We're doing diagnostics here, live, Bridgetti. We've come a long way.
I know.
Two years ago, we
didn't
know one end of a BeLive screen to another. Right, and you're on your own. Okay. Right, Bridgetti.
So when you had the second tab open, does that mean that you couldn't see yourself live at the time? And did you, again, Stephen's question, did you try and refresh that tab? Because that's what could possibly have happened, is that you were in actual fact live at the time when you were live in the group, but you couldn't see that because you didn't refresh the tab. That's what could have happened.
I've got this problem a lot of times. I like using and testing different platforms, but I don't test in public because, well, I don't want people to see what I'm doing or getting it wrong. So what I do is I always test into a private group, and I load up the private group. I load up where I'm broadcasting from, and two tabs, as you say, Lynn. But then I go live, and I've got to then go to the Facebook tab, and I've got to refresh 3 or 4 times before I can actually see that I'm live. There is well, there's a delay, isn't there? Yeah.
Yes, there is a delay. So I would refresh at least twice.
There we are.
So if the first time it doesn't work, refresh another time, and invariably you will then get the real view, given that there's a delay. So that's what you need to do.
Don't get. Oh,
But you know what, Lynn, I'm going to say to you, well done. Congratulations on going live. And your show is there. You've done it. That's the awesome part. You've done your first live and you can tick that off your list now. And now for the next time, you're going to do so much better because you know what to do. You're going to know to refresh the tab, maybe once, maybe twice. And you're going to feel so much more confident on the next time. It's going to be from here on up, it can only get better. Honestly, you've done it. So congratulations to you. Well done.
And congratulations from me too. The first show is the hardest. It does get easier. And it's not about getting perfect. It's about just doing it. Because the more shows that you do, the better you feel and better it gets. But if you've got through your first show and you want to do a second, then that's a total success. And that's hang on, my first real live, scared, but you liked it good, even though we all make mistakes. This is the joy of live broadcasting, to actually make mistakes, to be yourself. Things go wrong, and it's not necessarily
even now.
Oh yeah.
Even now, things, you know what? That's one of the first things. If you can learn to laugh at yourself, learn to accept that with live things can go wrong. And when they do go wrong, the best thing you can do is just laugh at yourself, because guess what? Your audience too, and that's what you want. You know, people see the funny side of it. And if you made a mistake, you say, you know, oops, I wasn't meant to do that. And people will just kick back, and you'll find that when you make light of something, it will actually relax your audience. Because if you get uptight about a mistake that you made, and you know what, invariably your audience will be none the wiser. They don't know how things work. So the fact that you got to the point where you're broadcasting, you are more than just one up on your audience, and they won't know the mistakes unless you tell them. They haven't got a clue that you've made a mistake. So just kind of take a deep breath, have a cup of tea next to you or a cup of coffee, whatever you love drinking. Go quiet for a second, take a sip, and then carry on. That's the way to go. Totally. Well done, Gospel. Gospel says her live was a hot mess and she laughed and carried on. Good for you. You know what, Gospel? That's a sign of growth as a live streamer, when you can learn to laugh at yourself and just carry on.
Totally. And we've both learned to do that, and we both make mistakes, and we both just carry on and go on to the next one. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, when don't take us back to our first broadcast. We'll talk about those next week. Right, okay, Bridgetti, we've come to the top of the hour. Shall we?
I can't believe this last 10 minutes just flew by.
Okay.
Well, thanks for that conversation starter there, Lynn. It was great that you mentioned that and that we could help you with it, I hope. So thanks, everyone. Want to thank God and thank you, John. Who else joined us? Did I miss anyone?
John, Lynn, Gospel.
Jay?
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah.
Mr. Garza.
So thanks very much for popping in. Yes, Dale. Thanks very much for popping in. Anyone watching the show on the replay, please type replay in the comments so we know that you watched the replay, and do always tell us where you're watching from, because it's always nice to know where in the world people are watching our show from. So thanks very much for joining us. Have a great day, and don't forget, next week, 5 days live, and we're going to be sharing some awesome tips with you. Again, bring your questions along. Watch us live if you can, ask us questions live, or catch the replay if you can't catch us live. We're looking forward to that. We're very excited about that. Have an awesome weekend. So from me, Bridgetti, in Cape Town, my corner of the world, have a super evening, and don't forget to join us in the BeLivers group. We're going to teach you how to get over nervousness. Bye, everyone.
Okay, and from Wiltshire in England, it's goodbye from me. I'll leave the final word to Gospel, who says thank you, and to Lynn. It's so good to learn, so thank you so much. You're more than welcome. We enjoy doing this. We'll see you again next week. As we say, goodbye for now. And that's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.